The next Senate budget option, strengthening the safety net. This is our food assistance program. Is it you, Mr. Anderson, you're going to read for us? I think you're on mute still, sir.
There we go.
There we go.
Good afternoon. Ryan Anderson with the Legislative Analyst's Office. We've been asked to read the following proposals from the Senate Democratic Caucus's budget proposal. First is to provide additional support for food banks to meet increased needs due to the continued impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. This reflects proposals that were put forth by the California Association of Food Banks and heard during the subcommittee's February 9th, 2021 hearing. The second is to expand access to the California Food Assistance Program, or CFAP, to service Californians regardless of their immigration status. This proposal supports SB 464 from Senator Hurtado and was heard during the subcommittee's February 9th, 2021 hearing.
Thank you very much. And we have Mr. Jared Call here, our senior advocate for Nourish California, to speak about this topic.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Chair and members. Jared Call, Senior Advocate, Nourish California. I just want to start by thanking the subcommittee for putting a spotlight on the alarming rates of food insecurity in California during the pandemic, but also want to do a level set and emphasize that before the COVID crisis, we had really high rates of hunger and poverty. We had the highest child poverty rate in the nation. So these are long-standing problems that have only worsened over the past year. Last fall, our organization partnered with a research firm to conduct a statewide study to learn more about the experiences of individuals and families across California during the COVID-19 emergency. We led a survey of 1,000 Californians, as well as 6 focus groups with households across the state, all earning less than $50,000 per year. And those findings showed clearly an urgent need to provide relief to households who couldn't meet their basic needs, and especially food. I'll share some of those top-line findings today, but I'm happy to follow up with the full report and other resources if the committee is interested in digging in more detail. So more than 3 in 5 survey respondents worried about running out of food in the prior 12 months. And more than half of all survey respondents had run out of food without money to get more. Half. Overall, 80% expressed some level of need for additional money to buy food. Black and Latinx Californians were more likely to run out of food than other respondents, and parents were more likely to report running out of food than households with children. Federal and state relief efforts were largely seen as helpful but not sufficient. During the pandemic, CalFresh provided additional benefits as emergency allotments. 65% of those who received emergency allotments said it did help their benefits last through the end of the month. But we also heard from a significant number of Californians who are shut out entirely of CalFresh and other assistance entirely, and that's undocumented immigrants. Today, the California Budget and Policy Center released an analysis showing that among California children in families where all members are undocumented, over half lived in poverty in 2018. An estimated 1 in 3 undocumented residents is a parent, and 90% live with US-born citizen children. But current CalFresh policy treats those parents as invisible. That policy denies these children and families the positive health and economic benefits of CalFresh. It's a policy that deepens disparities based on xenophobia and racial discrimination. A wide body of research shows that in addition to dramatically reducing hunger, access to CalFresh improves overall health outcomes and academic achievement. It also reduces healthcare costs and improves economic output over a participant's lifetime. So we want to thank you, Chair and members, for considering this Food for All proposal, which would expand eligibility in the California Food Assistance Program beyond the very narrow set of qualified immigrants it serves now to all Californians who are ineligible for CalFresh solely due to their immigration status. Making that change would permanently address the immigrant exclusion in the state's nutrition safety net and be a major step forward toward a future where all Californians have the food they need. I'll add that, of course, we strongly support the food bank's funding request as well, as they've been on the front lines throughout the crisis and are still facing very elevated demand. So thanks, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Department of Finance, do you have anything to add?
Justin Freitas, Department of Finance, no additional comments at this time.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, people may know this food is a particular interest for me. we talk about healthcare for all and housing for all, but for goodness sakes, we can certainly start with food for all. That seems like a basic thing that we can do in the state of California, where we grow more than any place else. And we certainly know that the pandemic has hit our most vulnerable, even the hardest, including those who may be here without documentation, but they live in our communities, they work in our fields, they work in our factories and restaurants, and their kids go to school with our kids. So nothing stops at anybody's border, and as you said, Mr. Call, every study shows that nutrition has way more impacts than just filling up a belly. It helps the mind, it helps people feel more secure, it helps academic outcomes, and it certainly helps outcomes both right away and later in life that the system would end up paying for anyway. And we know that if parents can feed their children, they feel less stress. And if parents feel less stress, their children develop and grow better. So we're very excited about this. I'm particularly excited about this. And I will ask Dr. Pan if he has any questions or comments on this topic. Okay. Thank you very much. Food is good. All right. Food is good. Okay, let's move on then to the next Senate budget option, strengthening the